MacVoices at NAB Show 2025. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at NAB Show in Las Vegas. Folks, we found Jim Tierney wandering around the show floor from Digital Anarchy and figured we'd find out what he's up to. Jim, it's great to see you.
Great to see you, too. I'm not wearing a prom dress. Sorry.
Well, somehow we said we feel like we're at the prom. I don't quite know how this happened, but, you know.
It's a good background.
Yeah, it's nice and neutral. Nice and neutral. So what's going on with Digital Anarchy? I know you're not exhibiting this year, but what are you up to?
So we've got like a bunch of new products coming out, or updates to existing products and one new product. So we're releasing something called Eff-It, which is for bleeping Premiere Pro. So if you have a video with a whole bunch of curse words and you don't want to go like individually bleep each one out, it uses the transcriptive technology and it uses transcripts to figure out where the curse words are and then rebuild your sequence with those automatically bleeped out, both in the sequence and in the caption file that gets created. And so that's a fun little take on using transcripts to do something useful.
I can see a problem with this, though, because some of the shows I listen to, you're going to edit out about 70-80% of the show.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're on cable, it's not a big deal. But like for YouTube, like their content creation guidelines, and actually for a lot of the streaming services or for the social media things like Twitch and stuff, really want creators to bleep out or not curse, or at least bleep out it if they do curse. And so this just makes it really easy. I mean, if you're on cable, then you can say whatever you want, right? But
okay, there's a bleep right there.
But it's made for many not safe for work conversations at work.
Yo, I bet.
As we have been like trying to figure out like different aspects of the program. It's made for some very funny conversations. But like for a lot of the social media stuff, like you do want to bleep things out. So we'll see. We're throwing it out there. Like I said, it's kind of piggybacks on some of the transcriptive technology, and it's just using transcripts to kind of do something useful.
Well, yeah, just listen, it's got to be a lot better than having to go through the entire transcript and read it and then find the place and bleep it out.
Right, exactly. So, it's just, even if you have a few scattered out, within a 10-minute sequence, like, do you really want to go and find all those? And, I mean, it's not that hard, but, it's a $99 product, so it's not a huge cost. And, we'll see how people respond to it.
Well, I can think of a few times where, I've had guests get enthusiastic and, you got to go through and sort of make a mental note that, okay, I got to go back and fix that because I don't want to get a nasty note from YouTube or someone.
Sure. Yeah.
And, it's the world we live in, right?
So, I mean, I cuss all the time. So I'm perfectly fine with it. But anyway, so that's coming out this week. And so we're doing that. Then we're doing a new version of Flickr Free, which does a much better job of dealing with slower moving bands. So one of the things that Flickr Free gets used a lot for is when cameras and lights are out of sync, which happens a lot with LED lights. And you kind of and what ends up happening is you get these kind of slow moving bands or fast moving bands, either way. And the fast ones we can deal with pretty well, but the slower ones, Flickr Free 2 struggles with. And so 3.0 is doing a better job of dealing with more of those. I mean, it's still, if it's really, really, really slow, then it's still not going to do it. But it does handle a much wider range of situations. So we're pretty excited about that. And then, finally getting Beauty Box 6 out the door, which we've been talking about for like a year and a half.
Yep. More edits.
I just bleep myself, but effing AI.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to change the world. Yeah, we can't even get it to like find faces. So.
And it's actually that's something I wanted to ask you about is because you were sort of early in with transcriptive on the AI thing. How have you seen that evolve? I mean, obviously you've done you've done a lot with it. You're doing more with it with the new product. How is it affecting your future plans?
You know, I mean, the problem with AI is that, you know, like if you're just doing random TikTok videos, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that like works great for that. If you're doing professional broadcast or whatever video, it just tends to be really inconsistent. You know, I mean, we've been using face detection in Beauty Box since version 1, so like 2010, right? So I mean, AI in some form or fashion has been around for a very long time. And you know, if you're talking about generative AI, you know, it's really hard to get it to do something consistent. If you're saying like, I have to have this, if you just want something randomly cool, it'll give it to you.
Right.
But if you're like, I have to have X doing Y like this, I mean, most of the times it's easier just to go out and shoot it. So it's just not going to give you that. That's assuming that all your humans have 5 fingers and all that stuff. But you know, it's hard to get it to do, you know, like with transcriptive. I mean, like even with like really good audio, you still really only get like 98, 99% accuracy. So you still got to go in there and clean up a fair amount of stuff. And, you know, that's just text. I mean, once you start getting into actual imagery, like the glitches, the errors, like they're not fixable. Like if you've got 10,000 frame, you know, video and like 10 frames go haywire in that, that's not a usable product on a professional level. Well, all of a sudden it glitches out 10 times during, you know, your 10-minute clip, right? So, you know, getting it to be consistent, building the tools around it so that people can fix the errors, that's really kind of the critical thing. And so that's what we're struggling with Beauty Box, is like getting the AI to work. And when it goes off the rails a little bit, what tools do we need to give the user to get things back on track? And
so I have to ask, because I'm thinking as a non-programmer, does that mean you might do a multi-pass on it? Do a second pass through with it, or apply it a second time?
No, I mean, because, you know, I mean, the problem's going to be, at least with AI, is like, if it goes off the rails, it just like doesn't work. I mean, like, you know, like, I mean, everybody calls it hallucinations, but they're really just errors. And when it errors out, like, you know, it's just, you get glitches or you get whatever, and like, you can't fix it by rerunning it. You got to go in there and go like, all right, well, how do we deal with this glitch? And what tools can we get people to fix that? Or just what do we need to build into it to prevent that from happening?
Yeah.
Like, why is it glitching out here? And like, how do we prevent that? Or how do we fix it? Or whatever. But I mean, there's all this hype around AI about like, oh, it's going to like take over the world, but like, we can't even get to find people's lips consistently. You're like,
no, you're not wrong. I mean, it's getting better, and it's going to get better, but it's not the panacea that everybody thinks it is.
It's a ways off before it gets anywhere close to what, you know, popular imagination has AI at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting better. I mean, like, it's slowly getting better, and they're, you know, like building nuclear power plants to power the data farms that they need to make it better, but it's going to be a lot.
I live near one of those, so I'm very much aware of that. Yeah. No, I've made this point a million times, but I think we all got trained on the Star Trek Enterprise computer. That's what we want.
Sure, yeah.
And, you know, and if that wasn't real, it's fiction, but we kind of think, oh, well, AI is here, so we should have it. It's not going to happen just yet.
Not just yet. I mean, and you have people saying like, "Oh yeah, it's almost right. It's right around the corner." But like, what does that even mean? And you know, like how? I mean, okay, the error rate goes down, but the error rate doesn't stop.
Right.
And there's still errors. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 5-10 years. But I think it's gonna be a while before AI is just running ragged over everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tool, right? So I mean, like, yeah, it's actually really. I mean, in a lot of cases, it's a really good tool. I mean, like bleeping out curse words.
Sure.
You probably don't that's not something you necessarily should have to do like manually. And like that's a nice use of taking the AI transcripts and doing something useful with it. And there's lots of stuff like that out there. And you know, like when the stuff in BeautyBox works great. Face detection is awesome. And so there's lots of ways that it's enhancing the tools. But I think people really have gotten ahead of themselves thinking like AI is going to be doing the work instead of like us doing the work and like it helping out.
Yeah.
You know, there's just a lot of hype around like, oh yeah, it's just going to take everybody's jobs, and like that is so far from the truth right now. And you know, maybe in 20 years, I don't know, but I don't have that crystal ball. But I think it's a long ways off.
Oh, but listen, we live in a world of hype, you know. So it's just, yeah, well,
NAB,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah. So you know, it is what it is, and I think the people that, you know, when you go in and try to use it, you find out, you know, right. It's good for this, it's not good for that. Yeah. This works, this one not so much yet. Right. So. It's great to see you.
Yeah, great.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. The website is, of course,
digitalanarchy.com.
Right. And the effing plugin is out.
Yeah, we're posting it today. So Eff-It, if you go to digitalanarchy.com, the download's available. There's a blog post about it, and yeah, you can find it there. Okay. Yeah, go to the blog. That's right. We don't actually. We haven't built a web page for it, so we're redoing the website. So right now, all the Eff-It information's on the blog. So go to the digitalanarchy.com/blog, I think. But there's also a big button on the website. Just click blog, and it'll be there. And then you can download it, get a free trial, play around with it for a while, and see how it helps you bleep out curse words.
That sounds
for bleeping Premiere Pro.
I can't follow that.
No one's ever said a curse word in front of Premiere Pro.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No.
Or any editing program or visual effects program. But anyway, said that.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I didn't hear it. Folks, more from NAB Show in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.